Hey YouTube, it's the Busy Diva. It's been a minute since I've done a video, and now is a great time as any to get back with the program on making these videos, especially since there's a big trending topic, which unfortunately is not trending in a fun way, but in a very tragic way, and that is Hurricane Harvey. Being from Houston, Texas, I can speak a little bit to what's going on here. And first off, I want to say that I am very, very thankful and grateful to God that I and my family are okay. Today, for the first time in 5 days of sheltering inside, I went outside and looked around to see, how things were looking outside, and there was no water in my condo complex where I live, nor was there in the parking lot, and my vehicles were fine. And the road right next to me was fine, but it's the surrounding roads that lead to the major freeways and etc. that are the problem. But I'm thankful overall that myself and my family are fine. My mother is out of town, and in a town that was not far from the path of Harvey, and she is close to one of the rivers that go by, which will be flooding. They say it's to crest today at 49 feet, which is a Colorado River that runs through Texas. But unfortunately, she was able to evacuate from where she is to where she wanted to be. I was trying to bring her here to Houston, but she did not want to come to Houston. But fortunately, I believe she's in a way better place than she is here, because where she is, there is family around, and the area is on much higher ground. There are hills, it's a little hilly, not really high hills like mountains, but the ground is much higher. As a matter of fact, I gave a call to one of my cousins to check on her, and she was saying that they had no standing water, no flood waters, in spite of how much it did rain. So I'm, feeling pretty confident. I've spoken with her, and she's in great spirits, and she and everyone that she is with, they're doing great. So feel very good to know that. But even with that good news, there is news that's not so great for others, and which my heart and prayers go out to the many people who were devastated by this storm. So many lost homes. They got water in their homes. So many lost their vehicles from either running into the water or where they got flooded. Their vehicles inadvertently got flooded. And our first responders, the fabulous job that they're doing, but they were spread pretty thin in this city, and a plea went out for people that had boats, and my, if people didn't come out, with their boats. There were even people that came out of town. There was some guys that said they were from Louisiana and heard about this and just wanted to help, and they came on with their boats and they helped. And so our first responders, is getting help. And in addition to that, the National Guard has been deployed. They just came out yesterday to assist, but we're very grateful for that. But it's really amazing how basically neighbors helping neighbors and people helping people, civilians helping civilians, people have just stepped up to help people get out of their homes, help the city and help the first responders with getting people into boats and getting them to dry land, to shelters. And we have a sheltering system. We have several facilities here that have offered shelters, churches to community centers. To our main shelter is George R. Brown Convention Center, which is our huge convention center here in the city. And they say it's running like a well-oiled machine, and that they're getting people help and getting them the necessary things they need, food. They say they even have doctors there to help people, that need medical attention. And they're even having facilities to shower, facilities to help them, hook them up with services they may need, to help them get on to the, next step that's they are going to have to take in their lives from this point. And then the city of Dallas has even opened its doors to us. We're told that they've opened the doors to, I think, one of their big convention centers to help house evacuees. And Fort Worth is also said that they have opened their doors as well to help us. to open the doors. And so many people have come in from out of state, in addition to the people in town who could get by the water, or weren't, or their path wasn't, adversely affected by the water, to get there to help, volunteer. And, with that said, social media, of course, also is playing a part with helping people. I mean, from Facebook to Twitter. There are a lot of people, putting the names and addresses, of their loved ones, or letting people know that, hey, there's people in this neighborhood need help. There's people at this address needs to be rescued. And the news media has been pretty much all day long. Our local news on all the local stations have been playing all day long the different rescues. They have reporters out there in the field, explaining, how they pretty much navigated even getting there, and some even had trouble getting to work. And even, a matter of fact, one of our news stations, our big news stations, got flooded. And they had to move to another building to give us the news. And some of those reporters were there like all day and all night. So they've been working really hard, giving us the news, showing us what's going on in the different pockets of the city. And also helping to get help, because once, it's shown where there's devastation and where there's water and where people are trapped, it helps give the responders and volunteers, an idea and locations to go out and rescue people. So social media has been helpful, in that regard. But sometimes I'm thinking, has technology also hurt in that regard? Because I'm kind of thinking about all these people who are going to have to be evacuated from their homes and having to leave. Of all these thousands of people, and so far it's been reported that the George R. Brown has about almost 10,000 people in that facility right now being helped. That's not to mention how many more may be coming. But in addition to the other shelters that are spread out that people are now going to, they said there were like 10,000 people and they were expecting 5,000, and that they were not going to turn anyone away. And it leads me to think about, how social media, everyone is texting and on Twitter and on Facebook, and we're not talking to each other, and we're not calling each other. And I'm even thinking about simple as, our mobile phones. How many times is it that when we ask for a phone number, we just put the number in our phone? We don't stop to learn the phone number. And I think these days, people hardly know phone numbers. I mean, I grew up in an age where we knew everyone's phone number, but now it's, let me put your number in my phone. And you put the number in your phone and you go and you just press, that person's name, not even paying much attention to the phone number. And it just kind of made me think, how many of those people, maybe they had someone they could have called and they just don't know their phone number. Something simple as that. And now they're sitting in a shelter. Thankfully the shelter is there, and they're, from what I hear, doing a very good job of helping these people. But I'm, stopping to wonder how many people maybe could have gotten help with family or friends, or being taken somewhere else, just because they didn't know a phone number, And so that thought occurred to me. And so it's just showing us how technology has kind of dumbed us down. We're to a point where we really don't contact each other as much. We're always on Facebook, or a lot of people even that I know, they're on Facebook. And I have a very good friend. We've been friends for years. And I know our lives, can get so busy, and it can take us away from, doing certain things. But it's some people, we're just relegated to contacting each other on Facebook. But then when we get together physically and see each other somewhere, it's like we've been buddy, it's like nothing has changed. But other than that, we're on Facebook, we're on the phone, we're texting. And I've gotten to the point sometimes, I'm like, what, I'm tired of swiping and tapping. Pick up the phone and call me. I will pick up the phone and call someone. And, I've been guilty of it too, but, I know that I've been wanting, and I will make a better effort of picking up the phone and calling people. And during this storm, I have been doing that, calling people, checking on them, in addition to social media. But I'm not downing social media, because here I am on it. But, and I used it, to get information where my mom lives. I mean, one of my old classmates, A friend of hers, they set up this page that was really great because they had a lot of detail in it, and it actually, some of the information they put on there, a video, showed me in relation to where my mom was, in relation to where some water could have been. I mean, it just gave me some comfort knowing she really was, in a much safer place than I thought she was. Actually, even safer than she would have been probably here, trapped, basically trapped in my condo with me. Of course, she doesn't didn't want to live in the city anyway, so she'd rather be where she is with her two very close friends, which is really good because here we are in our own place, texting each other, texting one another, calling, and on social media. So, for me, this video is just to give people something to think about. Let's not allow social media to just suck the personal contact away from us and the people that we love and know. Let's pick up a phone. I mean, I know so many people who say, I only text. Well, I text a lot too, and I'm into tech. I love technology, but, we are people, and people are meant to have contact with one another. And, let's, enjoy social media and for all the great things that it is for us. But let's not let it take away, the good that actual social human interaction, what is meant to be for us, what it is. Let's not let that be diminished in the light of, for the love of technology. With that being said, be blessed, everyone. Have a great day. Peace.